spot. Watch David off the start line. He's always wild. Has trouble keeping this front end down, but he didn't expect to qualify this far up there. He got down here, he had some tyres coming to Manfeild. They turned out to be the wrong ones, so as, one of his sponsors, PJ, drove 19 hours back to Waihi to get them. So that's the commitment this team's got behind them. And Seth Devereaux there, Seth Devereaux on the 11 machine in third spot. We've got Dale Finch, was riding in MV Augusta. He's now on Triumphs, courtesy of Scott Structural there on the first row there. Rogan Chandler, and I think that looks like, is that Toby Summers there? No, Toby Summers is... Rogan Chandler there, Toby Summers, yes, Nathaniel DeBrose, and Ashton Hughes, the local Air Force man, on number 7 on a Triumph there. So action aplenty. Suzuki in second place, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Triumph, and Triumph there on the front row. They're all off. This is a 10-lap journey there, and they're on the way to the first corner there with the Honda medical car following there in behind. Into Toyota and Avalon Biddle. Look at that. She's already had 2 pole positions this year, Hampton Downs and Ruapuna. I think Toby got it down at Timaru for the second round. 3 pole positions because he got pole here as well. There's Toby Summers up into second, and that is number 91 from Wanganui. Wow, Richie Dibbin, man, has a tough season so far this year. We had no racing in the 600s down at Christchurch. Then he had an accident there in the first race in the second round there at Timaru and was sidelined with a head injury. At the third round, he was all set to go, and his wife went into early labour and had to be flown to Wellington, and they had a baby, Michaela. So great to see him up there in third place with Brian Bernard Motorsport doing the mechanicking for him there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant start for Avalon Biddle and Toby Summers. Richie Dibbin there off the second and third row of the grid, already up into second and third in this race, so brilliant stuff. But Avalon Biddle and Toby Summers, they had some great battles at Moto Fest, and this is shaping up to be another one. So a 10-lapper here, and we've got one down too, so one down at Go Media. And we can't quite pick up the bike, but we'll go racing with Avalon Biddle and a decent enough gap back to Toby Summers. And we catch the update there out of turn 1, and it is David Hall there in 4th place. Richie Dibbins still sitting in 3rd. Seth Devereaux there in 5th place. So action aplenty. Looked to be a good start. Nathan Jane there on the Barnes Jenkins Suzuki there with Ashton Hughes in behind him as well. So
I'm going to call that as Dale Finch being down there. The important thing is up. He's gone to the tyre wall. So I'm going to call that that Dale Finch is down there. It looked like the colour of his number 17 machine. But look at this lead that Avalon Biddle's got already. That's a good 100 metres. Wow, that's incredible. Avalon Biddle out in the front, Toby Summers, Richie Dibbin. This is as of the last lap. David Hall, Seth Devereaux, Daniel Kempthorne, Nathan Jane and Ashton Hughes in the 8th spot there. Toby, have you got an answer for Avalon at the moment? Both on Kawasaki's, but look at that 4th place bike. David Hall reeling in 3rd place down that back straight. Seems to just have the legs over and above Richie Dibbin there, both on Suzuki's. It's an older bike that David Hall's on. Richie Dibbin also, he runs his own dyno, so he's got plenty of expertise behind that bike. But I think David Hall might have just got the drive down the back straight, and we go into Seth Devereaux as well on the bright orange Triumph there in 5th spot. Look at Avalon just opening it up there. We do not have a lap record for Super Sport 600. It is listed as a 107.046. Don't even know who that is. So right now we've got a 107.722 for Avalon, a 107.892 I think for Toby Summers. So the lap times are there. Look at this battle going on for 3rd place between the 2 Suzukis. Richie Dibbin on number 91 from Wanganui. Very historic number from Wanganui. Tony Cave and Roger Stent used to run this number in sidecars. There he is down the centre straight. David Hall reels in Richie Dibbin there, pulls up beside him and outbreaks him there. So he's on the podium if it continues this way with 2 laps of a 10-lap journey gone.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Look at Avalon Biddle. She's got a massive lead as they head down the back straight. And Toby Summers there is definitely not getting away with this one. So Toby Summers in 2nd place at the moment. David Hall there in 3rd now ahead of Richie Dibbin. So let's see if he's got anything to challenge Toby in 2nd place. So Richie Dibbin now down in 4th place with Seth Devereaux. He was hoping to have a good weekend. He's done a lot of work to the bike since Moto Fest. So Seth Devereaux, one to watch on the Underground Brown Mega Motorcycle Centre Heatmiser Triumph there, 5th place. So the battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th is quite a hot little 4-way battle. They head out of Toyota, but it is Avalon Biddle out in front of this moment.
Yeah, it's a battle about tyres too. The 600s are limited to the amount of tyres they can use over the weekend, And there's SC0s, which are the softest, and SC1s. I understand Avalon's on an SC0, so she's got the softer rubber, but will it last the 10 laps? She's a bit lighter than that. Toby's running the SC1s. He's there in second place, and right now he's getting hunted down by David Hall. David's bike just that little bit stronger down the centre lot straight there. As I say, as one of his mechanics drove 19 hours to pick up the correct tyres for Manfeild. They're going to struggle for tyres. Everybody's going to struggle for tyres for the next weekend with the shortage in supply. But David Hall on fire, and in third place he's reeling in Toby Summers. Will he manage to pull up beside him? He's pulling up beside him. Who's going to be the biggest on the brakes, or the last on the brakes? It is indeed David Hall up to second place. Very strong charge. He's had wins at Wanganui. He races classic bikes as well. A dairy farmer from Te Awamutu, absolutely on fire. And Toby's got no answer at the moment. And now he's being hunted down by fourth place, Richie Dibbin from Wanganui on the number 91 machine. The number 91 machine sponsored by the Barracks, Scarmack Engineering, among other people. So great to see Richie Dibbin, who is a dab hand, one of the best supermoto motard riders in New Zealand we've ever seen. He's absolutely unstoppable sometimes. He's now into the 600 game. Went down to the Burt Munro Challenge and had such a good showing down there. I think he got second on the hill climb, his first ever hill climb, and he's there in fourth place as they come in and out of the hairpin with the Triumph mounted Seth Devereaux on the SD11 machine there in fifth place there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great little battle there. And it looks like David Hall's now coming under pressure from Toby Summers. So he looked like he was clear and gone, but this is definitely not done for yet. The battle for second and third there with, Richie Dibbin right on there as well. Seth Devereaux on the Heat Miser Triumph. He's back there. Rogan Chandler and Ashton Hughes having a good little battle. That's the battle for sixth. And seventh as well with Nathan Jane and Nathaniel Diprose having a little battle in behind them as well. So can't keep our eyes off all the little battles. But what a performance, Avalon Biddle. An outstanding performance so far, but we've only had 4 laps gone and still got 6 laps to go in this one. So this is all on at the moment, but it is Avalon Biddle ahead of David Hall, then Toby Summers with Richie Dibbin and Seth Devereaux, your top 5 on the fire at the moment.
A 107.722 Avalon, a 107.733, so 11,000 seconds separating first and second there in terms of lap times. But that's some laps ago. That's the only 2 people into the 7s. According to my timing screen right now, Toby Summers leads the championship with Avalon Biddle in second, Ashton Hughes in third, Seth Devereaux, Rogan Chandler, David Hall. That's the top 6. Nathan Jane on 97, who's out there. He's on 7th with Dale Finch, who's unfortunately sidelined. He had a crash, but he is okay. Walked away from it in 8th spot in the New Zealand Superbike Championship 600 class. We've got Supersport B out there as well. Have we got it listed on our program here? Yes, Superstock. We've got Zuram Wiki out there on number 24 on the 600 machine. The fastest guy out there on the track is Dylan Telford out there in 10th on the beautiful MV Augustus 3-cylinder. Now, we call it 600 Supersport. There actually is some 675cc bikes out. You might think that's odd. It's not. The 600cc is a 4-cylinder. The 675, where we've got Triumphs and the MV Augusta 675 3-cylinder machines. What a great battle there going on for second, third, fourth and fifth. Absolutely outstanding. Avalon has just showed us how she's got 3 pole positions this year on the MTF Finance sponsored machine. Absolutely enjoying her racing. Good to see her mum down here, and great to see Chris Osborne, one of the leading mechanics in New Zealand. He's just put so much into the sport and getting the results that he deserves for the effort he puts in there. Out of the hairpin there, David Hall is still ahead of Toby Summers on the 22 machine, the Mad Love Media Carl Cox sponsored machine. This battle's not over at all, and in behind him we've still got Richie Dibbin there. The Motard Ace is now taking up the 600s and a very, very strong charger as well. Don't discount Seth Devereaux. He's just sitting back there in 5th place. He's already had a crash this weekend. Said he stayed under the bike across the ripple strip to save it. So he'll be a little bit sore somewhere along the line. But he's managed to override the pain and get on with it. Avalon Biddle comes through. We've got 3 laps to go. This battle there for second, third and fourth, mate. Who are you going to pick there, Brad?
Yeah, no, it looks like Toby's definitely playing the long game thing. I think Toby's still saving a bit, so that battle's going to come alive in a minute, I think. So David Hall leads about a turn 1 and into the turn 2, little sweeping right-hander before they flick it left and head into the S's. But David Hall seems to have that part of the track under control, but Toby Summers is right there, ready to pounce. So maybe close enough to have a little lunge into the hairpin, but maybe there we go. Toby Summers up the inside, and maybe it goes in a bit deep, but I think he's got it done. So there we go. Toby Summers, we called it, and looking at having a charge. But David Hall's got the hind legs down the centre straight, so that battle there is really starting to come alive. Toby Summers just ahead of David Hall at the moment.
Oh, that was breaking a little bit later for Toby, just about by half a bike length, or half a wheel length probably, but we're watching them on Ctas there, coming out onto that back straight. Great to see the Ctas footage there. This is the battle for second, third and fourth. We go across to that static camera on the back, and David Hall looks like he's trying up on the inside, leaves the brakes on just that little bit longer, so he hasn't given up yet. Definitely a hard charger there in third spot. Avalon goes through, 2 laps to go. Toby Summers, David Hall, Richie Dibbin and Seth Devereux. We go back a little bit further, and Rogan Chandler is being hunted down by number 7, the Greymouth man who lives up here in the Manawatu there. He lives in Fielding locally, the Air Force mechanic. Ashton Hughes. You can see this battle going on through the centre field as they go through the right hand into the left. There's only 2 to 3 bike lengths between those two. Avalon back into the hairpin. She's got about a lap and a half to go, and it is still Toby Summers in second spot. He takes a tight line. I think he's blocking there, but he's allowed to do that. That's all how he's supposed to run a race, you know. But David Hall's definitely stronger down that centre straight on the Suzuki, the number 28 machine. Yes. My partner helps out, sponsors him, and she's in town getting lunch for us. So I said, what are you doing in town? So hopefully she can get back to the track. She's put some money towards David Hall and up here watching him. So it's great to have her support, and David's really enjoyed having her on board. I hope she gets back, and well, that's all right. She's going to have to hang around and watch 2 races tomorrow. 2 more Super Sport, 2 more every race tomorrow. And there it is, the white flag's out there for Avalon Biddle. She's got it sorted there. We don't want to put the commentator's curse on here. Toby Summers opened it up. That's a good gap now. He's got about 10 bike lengths. There's 4 of them in that. I'm not even going to pick it. Richie Dibbin closes up on David Hall, and Seth Devereux's back in the mix. He was about 100 metres behind only 2 to 3 laps ago. Looks like the Triumph's lacking speed coming out of the Toyota corner there as he loses a bit of pace to Richie Dibbin on the number 91 machine, the Barracks bar-supported machine from Wanganui. I'm still not going to call it. I don't think David Hall's got quite the legs to reel in Toby Summers. And of course, Toby is now on the hard tyre. He's running the SC1s. Look, can David Hall reel him in as we see Avalon Biddle on the MTF finance-sponsored machine leads into Higgins. She's got a good 200 metres, so good points in the bag for her. And she's already got 1 point from qualifying, Brad. Richie, I'll let you take it to the line.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Avalon Biddle, the Spectrum Motorcycles, MTF Finance, Aussie Performance, Kawasaki ZX600. She's run a flawless race, got out in front off pole position, and she is flying out of the sweeper and down the front straight. Checkered flag time for Avalon Biddle, your Super Sport 600 race 1 winner here. Toby Summers is going to do enough to hold on to second with David Hall, finishing in third place. Richie Dibbin there with a wonderful 4th place, and that might be his first points finish for Super Sport 600 action this year, despite being set to go to all 4 rounds. And there we go with Seth Devereux. He's going to finish in 5th place. And Rogan Chandler's going to just do enough to beat Ashton Hughes. A great little battle there from the 2 Vic Club riders at their home round. Nathaniel Diprose was charging hard, but just having to do a little bit too much there. He's come back there, and a good ride from Nathaniel Diprose. Great to see him back riding. So he's going to finish there in 8th place with Nathan Jane. There in 9th, and Dylan Telford, the first of the Super Stock 600s. He's 10th on track, but that is first in his separate little class there. So Super Sport 600, and what a start to the weekend for Avalon Biddle.
Well, I'm going to call it. I need to do my maths here. 161.230 kilometres an hour. So I think that's past the magic 100 mile an hour. Is that the first ever 100 mile an hour lap we've seen out of a 600 Super Sport bike? I'm going to have to write that down. We're going to have to check out. I know it's 160. Was it 161? You notice 161.230. So we're just going to check. I need to get onto the internet and have a look at Google and see whether Avalon Biddle's been the first 100 mile an hour lap for a 600 machine here at Manfeild. Might have been a little bit faster in the Formula 2 class. We're not running Formula 2 today. We're running Formula 1. In fact, indeed, Damon Rees has got the lap record for Formula 2 at 107.046. The difference between Formula 2 and Super Sport 600 is the tyres. You're allowed to run slicks on the Formula 2. You're running a street DOT tyre on that, whereas the Superbikes, Formula 1 and Formula 2, same tyres. So great racing there, Brad Ritchie.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. If that's what we've got in store for the rest of the weekend, I can't wait for it. So Avalon Biddle, Toby Summers, David Hall, Richie Dibbin, Seth Devereux, Rogan Chandler, Ashton Hughes, Nathaniel Diprose, Nathan Jane, Dylan Telford, your top 10 there on track. So brilliant stuff from Super Sport 600. And coming next to Super Sport 300, and some of the best racing we've seen so far at NZSBK has come from the Super Sport 300 class, with Jacob Stroud with a decent points lead after his dominant performance at the TT at round 3 Moto Fest in Hampton Downs, and they've got the 250 production class in there as well. So 2 classes inside the same race, and that's coming up next.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. What an exciting race, yes, indeed, for Avalon. 2 in a row, Evan, with the TT at Hampton Downs and now here at Manfeild. What was the surprise factor out there? You just bolted. How do you feel?
Yeah, it feels fantastic, honestly. Until we came here for the Suzuki Series at the end of last year, Manfeild was a track that I hadn't really been fast at, especially on a 600. It's very, very physical, and I think that training paid off for me. A lot of hard braking, and yeah, just heaps of hard work. But also Manfeild, as Seth said in the press conference yesterday, is a track that you need top end speed out of, and I've got it from Aussie Performance. It's his home race here in Fielding, and he's got this MTF Kawasaki going really, really strong, and I kind of just have to hold on. So yeah, really proud to be here for everyone who's helped me.
It is great, but congratulations, because there was a decent buffer over those. Could you get any idea of how far they were back and how much they were fighting amongst themselves?
Yeah, Aussie was showing me on my pit board, and I knew my lap times I was in the 7s for the whole first half of the race, so I knew that I'd be pulling away at that pace, and as the way I could kind of see them out of the corner of my eye as I was coming out of a corner, they were going in, and there was a big giggle, so I was like, yeah, okay, I think I've got this. I just need to be smart and not crash as I have done before. So yeah, to bring it home to the checker flag in first phase is awesome.
Right, what about the track conditions, warmth, your tyres, all that combination pretty good today?
Oh, absolutely perfect. Yeah, to be honest, like a win is a win, but to get the late record would have been really nice because it's just such great conditions here. So we'll try for that tomorrow maybe.
Here we go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Avalon Biddle, what a star, what a performance, doing it again, 2 in a row.